When I was setting up the Czech Center for Investigative Journalism, what is now investigace.cz, my motivation was that there was really no one in Czech Republic who would be focused on international cross-border media projects.
We tend to focus most on organized crimes that affect somehow the Czech Republic or in which Czech Republic is involved.
The first story we've done, it was a story about Azerbaijani ruling family, the Aliyev family, who were buying and investing heavily in real estate in Czech Republic. This story we've done together with Khadija was barely noticed here in Czech Republic, but back in Azerbaijan it had a huge impact, and Khadija ended up in prison, and we at OCCRP created Project Khadija.
Khadija project was basically about us writing stories that Khadija was not able to do while she was jailed. And it was a message that if you jail a journalist, you will not stop the stories.
Azerbaijan stayed in my focus, and we did a couple of other stories, including one that was part of major project called Azerbaijani Landromat, and we exposed how Deputy Director of Anti-Corruption Unit in Azerbaijan actually invested 100 million euros into real estate and hotels in Czech Republic. If I face surprises in any area of investigative journalism, it's definitely reporting on cocaine trade and organized crime, and that's a sort of a topic that was introduced to me by my colleague Stevan Dojčinović.
The good investigative journalists who know how to investigate organized crime, they need to have some certain set of skills. And Pavla is currently one of the best organized crime reporters that there is.
Pavla and Stevan worked together on these criminal networks that were set up in Central Europe and the Balkans, and they've always noticed these connections with Latin America because many of these people were trafficking in cocaine.
The top player, the leader of this cartel, was based in US, and his second to command, Zoran Jakšić, he was detained in 2017 in Peru. And we decided we are going really to do what was not done before and create this global story on global narco group.
Organized crime group that smuggled cocaine internationally. This is a really dangerous topic. Once she managed to enter one of really dangerous prison in Peru, where she talked with one of the heads of Serbian organized crime.
Importante ver que una periodista en Europa tenga el interés y le guste hacer coberturas de este tipo, que a veces pueden ser peligrosas para una periodista europea.
In 2013, I got introduced to Jan Kuciak, and I understood that he's super talented investigative journalist, and he started to be the first contact for me anytime I needed anything from Slovakia.
Pavla told me a very wild story about the Calabrian Drangheta in the east of Slovakia, and she asked me if I could check some facts for her. Jan sent her, so I was sure it has to have some real basis, the story, but I was really very skeptical.
We were able to prove that, that there is connection between the most powerful Italian mafia, Ndrangheta, and then Prime Minister Robert Fico. Unfortunately, Jano was killed before we finished the story. We finished and published the story.
Our initial thought was it might have had something to do with that story. But it turned out the most powerful Slovak businessman ordered the murder of Jano.
We, as a journalist, understood that we need to join our forces and finish all the stories Jano started. Otherwise, if we would give up, it would be like really risky position for us, because it would send the message that by killing of a journalist, you can kill the story.
They ended up, uncovering basically how, Slovakia as a country was corrupt.
The judges were corrupt, the prosecutors were corrupt. The police was the strongest organized crime group, and after we exposed and the police really started to investigate those ties, the system collapsed and the government fell.
The clearest evidence in the case of organized crime are the financial transactions or evidence of ownership of certain assets. Very often these elements form the basis of our stories.
We published Pandora Papers with ICIJ 5 days before elections. It really resonated in society.
One of the largest stories in the huge pile of different stories in Pandora Papers was the story of the Czech Prime Minister. Andrej Babiš is, as well as being a politician, he is also a billionaire, an oligarch, if you will.
Now the former Prime Minister is blaming us for losing elections, what we take as a badge of honor. But the situation changed. The government needs to face the issues with the war, but they are doing much better now.
At least in two countries, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, she is probably the most important person for investigative journalism.
She really is a global investigative reporter, and there are only a few of these type of people in the world.